Good morning, everyone, on this Sunday morning. Hopefully beautiful. It's still a little dark out. Dr. Garrett Cush here for your morning reading on the Essence of Success by Earl Nightingale. Today, it's the tips for setting goals. Great little passage on exactly that. So let's get started. A clinical associate professor of psychiatry, Dr. Arie Kiev, writes, "In my practice as a psychiatrist, I have found that helping people to develop personal goals has proven to be the most effective way to help them cope with problems. Observing the lives of people who have mastered adversity, I have noted," he writes, "that they have established goals and sought with all their effort to achieve them. From the moment they decided to concentrate all their energies on a specific objective, they began to surmount the most difficult odds." So writes Dr. Kiev in his book, A Strategy for Daily Living. He writes, "The establishment of a goal is the key to successful living, and the most important step towards achieving an objective is first to define it. I'm sure you have at least 30 minutes a day in which to list your thoughts about possible goals. Set aside such a period each day for a month. At the end of that time, choose from the possible objectives you've listed the one that seems most important, and record it separately on a single card. Carry this card with you at all times. Think about this objective every day. Create concrete mental images of the goal as if you've already accomplished it. The doctor points out you can determine your special talents or strengths in a number of ways, ranging from psychological tests to an analysis of the unexpressed wishes in your dreams. No one method works for everyone. You might start, for example, by clipping and posting newspaper articles that interest you. After 30 days, see if there isn't some trend suggestive of a deep-seated interest or natural inclination. Keep alert to the slightest indications of any special skills or talents, even when they seem silly or unimportant. From this exercise, you should be able to get some sense of potential strengths. Whenever you discover a strength or talent, think of 5 possible ways to develop it. Write these down on a card as well and check them periodically to keep them fresh in your mind. Focus on one objective at a time. Like a servo mechanic, the brain, set on a target, will call into play those mental processes that will bring your efforts to fruition. Your actions will conform to your expectations, thereby bringing about the event. If you believe that you will reach your objective, you will continue to work at a task until you've accomplished it. And he suggests that we be aware of situations that generate the 5 great enemies of peace: avarice, ambition, envy, anger, and pride. Petrarch said, if those enemies were to be banished, we should infallibly enjoy perpetual peace. Old advice, perennial advice, and perennially forgotten. It has been said that we need reminding as much as we need educating. Even Petrarch in the 14th century knew all about this subject. Dr. Kiev got the idea of writing his book because of a young businessman who visited his office saying he needed a set of guidelines to follow that would let him function without professional help in the face of considerable confusion and despair caused by serious personal problems. So take the good advice of the psychiatrist Dr. Arie Kiev, and don't be afraid of failure. As Herodotus wrote, "It is better by noble boldness to run the risk of being subject to half of the evils we anticipate than to remain in cowardly listlessness for fear of what may happen." Man, every one of these is filled with massive little gems that you can apply even on a daily basis. Just like he's saying here, if you aren't sure about your goal, first of all, from what we talked about yesterday, how how the goal is the destination, is the next port of call for the ship, and you being that ship. But that setting goals is that important in life to help so many people, that the psychiatrist years ago, Kiev, found out that, if people set goals, and work towards them, it gave them direction and organization. It kept them healthy, right? It kept them on track in their lives for beautiful big things. So that's how important this goal setting is, and how important that goal is the next important thing. But so many gems in here. If you're not sure of what you want, I love this. It's dated age by saying get to newspapers and clip out clippings, but the same idea can hold for the internet. Get to the internet and scour it and just look at things that interest you, that might point out talents that you have, areas that you enjoy. Even when it comes down to figuring out what you want to do for work, for a career, same thing applies. It's sad nowadays that so many kids want to go to school to figure out what they want to do, and the answer doesn't lie at school. It doesn't lie in the mechanics of becoming a doctor or becoming an engineer, an accountant. It comes in the lives of those individuals. If there's one piece of advice, especially if you're, adolescent, young adult, or even older, go, donate your time to follow someone around that you're, thinking about, possible career, and you'll get a much more clear idea of what that person does on a regular basis, day in and day out, and see if it does resonate with you. So get on the internet and just kind of keeping a file of images. It's something that we've done, each personally. Tara and myself is, we created mind movies. We created, I guess you call them electronic vision boards. I heard a great talk on the Ed Milet show with John Assaraf, who said that he even has a, what did he call it? He has his vision boards, he has his accomplishment boards, but he has another one, and it's called a crap board. And it's a way in which he can direct his mind to what it is that he loves to do. Because as he did point out, our brain, our mind is like a deletion and distortion device, and setting goals gives, the mind and the brain the instruction to focus on nothing else and delete and distort everything else except for what I need for my goal. And that's what puts the GPS device to work inside the brain to bring everything that you need to fruition. So, don't take this goal setting stuff as like, oh yeah, I set my goals, I do this, I do that, take the time to sit down, and really start to contemplate what is important to you in your life. What makes you happy? What are you excited to do? Jot those things down, as the good psychiatrist said. Go through there and pick out one, right? Pick out one goal that you can focus on, as he said, put it on a little card and, read that card daily. So don't forget that, the first step in success is setting that worthy ideal. And for those of you that want to learn or share or talk a little more, comment on these. Let me know if you're enjoying them. And we'll be here again tomorrow to continue the reading. So on this Sunday morning, welcome to this day. Make it an absolutely awesome one. Have an amazing day, you guys. It's Garrett Kush. See ya.